Hi, it's Norman Shawn here from the BrainLink Group, and I'd like to talk to you today about why we think that strategy is really important in these times of uncertainty and change. There are three reasons that we've identified that really make strategy important in these times. Firstly, strategy is not planning. Planning is a process where we set particular goals and milestones in order to achieve some imagined future. It's in fact a prediction of the future. Whereas strategy is a learning process. It's a process whereby we seek to study and understand how the future is going to unfold and what that'll mean to us. We know that simply focusing on being agile and responsive is not actually a strategy. It's a way of executing the strategy. And so in a sense, what you're doing is you're waiting around like a Boy Scout and you're prepared to do anything that happens. And research will show that this form of short-termism is generally associated with much poorer results, both in profitability and in overall levels of effectiveness. So what is strategy then, and what is strategic thinking? Well, it's about making sense of what's happening in the organization, happening in the environment, and how to understand it. In that way, it's about preparing for the future, not predicting it. And particularly in times of uncertainty, predicting the future is very dangerous. And thirdly, it allows us to enhance our resources, almost leverage our resources by converging them, by focusing them on some specific things, rather than just hanging around being prepared. So in order to prepare you and help you do this, we've developed 3 online offerings which really pick the eyes out of our particular program, our overall program of strategy, to allow you to better prepare yourself and your organization to be successful in these times. Better decision making relies on behavioral economics to improve your understanding of what's happening in the market and also improve your own approach to the way you make decisions. Over the horizon thinking is a way of keeping you ahead of the curve to see what's coming. And Play to Win is a methodology to assist you in quite simple but practical ways to enhance your competitive advantage in the marketplace. Each of these 3 programs are supported by a range of resources, such as workbooks with all the detail and background, a series of readings to give you additional perspective and examples, and exercises which you can apply in your organization. Now, all 3 programs are available as a pre-recorded video which you can use as and when you require them, or as a live interactive online session with Q&A and some discussion which is really useful to figure out how you might apply or how you might process some information relevant to your particular organization. Just a little detail about each of these programs. Firstly, Better Decision Making has as its goal to improve the quality of your decisions by using the insights from behavioral economics. We look at a few things. We look at what are those key insights that behavioral economics gives us. And that's really about how people actually make decisions and how markets really work. Some of the myths of decision making are also explored. For example, how we use and misuse intuition. Is there any sense in the so-called law of averages, and how does it help us or how does it hinder us? And how might we improve our decision making? By using techniques such as the optimal stopping point, which tells you when to stop collecting information and make a decision. And how can we mitigate non-conscious bias as well, which often disrupts our decision making accuracy? Over the horizon thinking has as its goal to get ahead of the curve, to know what's coming at you. We present a really practical systems thinking model which is really capable of understanding the drivers and causes of whatever's going on in your environment, to recognize the unseen challenges which are coming at you, and the ways of doing that, like contacting the edges of this problem and preventing the denial that often occurs within organizations. And how to future-proof your business, how to future-proof your business model, how to treat your cash cows, and recognizing when you've reached the use-by date of a particular business model. And the final program is really our play to win methodology, which is about enhancing competitive advantage through developing good as opposed to bad strategy. We help you to define your winning aspiration, what's your purpose and your why, and how you might move beyond the definition of an industry to define the scope of your work and where you want to focus. How you can compete and win in a market by understanding the logic of that market and the logic of your customers, and then proceed to align your strategy with this market and customers. And finally, how you can organize the capabilities that are required, starting with the organization and its design to really assist in executing the strategy, rather than just to make sense of placing boxes and squares and identifying who does what. And lastly then, what are the required processes and metrics that might help you to execute successfully your strategy. So that's our program, and we look forward to speaking with you about them and figuring out ways of assisting you in this particular challenge.